there's two different ways to handle a situation. When you have something physically show up in your reality that you don't prefer, there's one option of coming to terms with what's happened and accepting it as your current reality and making peace with it. And there is value in doing that, but there is a second option, and it depends where you're at on which one's going to be the best one available to you at the time. But the second option is pretending as though you already have what you want. Literally living a delusional life, assuming that it is already happened, that you're already living that version of you. Something came to me this morning where it's not actually playing pretend. It's more about you stabilizing that version of yourself in this current reality. If you can imagine sort of like a digital thing happening where there's multiple parallel realities happening all at once, and if you have stepped into a reality that you don't prefer, instead of pretending that the other reality is happening right now, it's almost as though you're stepping into the quantum field and you are collecting the particles through your delusional mindset that it's already done, that you already are that person or that version of yourself. It's like you're collecting particles and creating and stabilizing that sort of digital version of yourself in this current reality, using these kind of mental images to sort of give you an understanding about the mechanics of the quantum field, because you're not actually pretending to be somebody and having that come to you. You are embodying the version of yourself that already exists, because it already exists in the quantum field. Because any version of yourself that you want is already existing in the quantum field. So this is more of an exercise of stepping into and deliberately choosing and consciously selecting which reality you want to be in and which reality you want to embody and manifest in this reality. That's the difference that I noticed this morning about the two different options, because I obviously have something going on, and so it came to me, I'm like, all right, I have two options. I can either accept what's happening and be okay with it, and there is value in that, or I can pretend like it's not happening like that and actually live and take action and have thoughts and live my life as though it has already happened. That is actually the true definition of faith. By ignoring what is and keeping your focus and your emotions and your attention on what you want. That is how you manifest in this reality very quickly. However, if you decide to go the other direction and you want to make peace with where you are and accept it as your current reality, there is still value in that. Maybe you're not in a place yet where you can start to visualize and embody and presume and assume. There is the law of assumption. Assume that what you want has already happened and that it's already here and that you're already currently living that. If you're not able to make that jump, if you're not able to emotionally marry up with that idea and get that, because it doesn't matter what you say, because the universe isn't listening to your lip service. It's not listening to the words that you offer. It's listening to the vibration or the mood or the expectation that you offer. I could be saying a lot of good affirmations at home, being like, this is all working out for me, blah, 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 blah. But if I'm actually not feeling that's true for me, then it's all just lip service and it doesn't even matter. You get that with people that aren't, you can feel it when they're not being authentic, when they're just saying the right things or doing the right things, and you can just feel that they're not really in it. And that's the same way that the law of attraction is responding to you. It's really not listening or to the things that you are saying, it's listening to how you are feeling with the things that you are saying. So if you know on a true level that, hey, I can't really jump from the disappointment of having this thing happen or not having this thing haven't happened yet, and maybe I'm not quite in that place yet where I can assume that everything's okay or assume that I have everything that I want yet. And maybe for me, my path of least resistance is me coming to terms with what's happened first. Once you get yourself into a calmer, more peaceful state, then you might be able to make the jump to be like, hey, just for fun, I'm actually going to pretend as though what I want has already come, and I'm going to assume that it is already mine, and I'm going to live my life as though I've already got it. I'm just going to actually live my life as though it's already happened, and I'm going to think about things as though it's already happened and use those emotions to embody the version of myself and stabilize the version of myself in this quantum field, in this reality that I'm in right now. The reality that you prefer isn't actually leaving that reality and coming into this reality. You are actually shifting into a different reality. It's constantly moving, and it's very hard to conceptualize sometimes, but if you can think of it as like a video game and maybe keep the external the same, but you are the thing that changes. So your character is constantly morphing into whatever you believe that you are. Because if you believe that you are less than something, or if you don't think that you are worthy, then you are going to be in a reality where you're not worthy, and where the universe will reflect that back to you. You might have people come up to you and be nasty to you, and that'll sort of amplify that feeling of I'm not worthy, but you had to first embody that feeling. Whereas if you decide that I'm going to feel worthy today, and I'm going to feel abundant and magnetic and expansive and loved, then the universe, if you genuinely feel that and believe that, then the universe is going to reflect that back to you. So we are constantly shifting realities, and it does feel like a whole different reality, because if you've ever been in like despair and then compared that to your life when you were in love, they feel and look entirely different. Yes, that tree might still be there, and yes, the ocean is still where it was yesterday, but it looks different because you're seeing it through eyes that are different, and your perception is different, because perception is everything when it comes to reality, because you're the only one that gets to look at something and have it feel a certain way to you. Two different people can be looking at exactly the same thing and be seeing completely different scenes and feeling a very different emotion from looking at it, because they have different belief systems and they are a different person. And the thing is, a lot of us don't realize that we are constantly changing and turning into these new people all the time. So we are not the same person that we were a few weeks ago or even a few moments ago. We are constantly shifting, because I'm not the same person that I was yesterday, because yesterday I didn't have this revelation. Yesterday I didn't know about this in this depth of wisdom. So if you were to meet me yesterday and meet me today, they're two different people, especially from years and years and years ago. That's when you get a lot more shift. But if you can remember that and be like, hang on a minute, I don't have to stay stuck with this identity. I don't have to stay stuck with this reality or even the physical manifestations of this reality, because your reality is only responding to you. The universe literally is evolving around you. It is swirling around you, and it's a mirror. You're in a sphere of mirror, and everywhere you look, it's reflecting back to you how you're feeling, what you believe about yourself, and what you expect to come to you. Because if you're expecting bad things to come to you, the universe will show that to you. But if you're expecting good things to come to you, the universe will show that to you. So the true work is to be able to mold your mind and your expectation and your vibration and your mood so that it matches the reality that you prefer. And that is where the real work comes in, because we can become so inundated with what we are already looking at and what's already manifested. It's kind of like if you want to feel happy and you keep looking at the mirror and you're feeling sad and you do nothing about feeling better, every time you look at that mirror, you're going to look sad because you're not doing anything to make yourself feel better. So sometimes it takes not looking at the mirror and putting a cover on it and using your imagination to do that, because that is how you take your attention away from this physical reality. You give your whole attention to your imagination, where you can create a reality that you prefer. And then when you start focusing in your imagination enough and you give that enough attention, then you are conjuring beliefs and emotions and thoughts and feelings about a reality that isn't what you currently have. Therefore, you can shift into a reality that does show you things that you want. And that is how you do it. That's constant conscious creation. This is your studio in your head, in your mind, in your thought life, in your third eye. That is where you create your reality. Because whatever you give your attention to, law of attraction is going to give you more of. So you need to train yourself to not give your attention to things that aren't pleasing to you, not give your full attention to this reality that hasn't got everything that you want in it yet, but to give your full attention to an imagination and a thought life that does have everything that you want, that does have the partner that you want, that does have the job that you want, the baby that you want, the overseas trip that you want. Start imagining and visioning that in your mind, and then your vibration, you'll start to change. You'll start to feel yourself get better, and that is the number one manifestation to look for first. That's the first thing that will shift is your emotions. So when you start to see your emotions change, then you know that you're going in the right direction. Then you just start building on that slowly. Every moment that you can, fantasize about something, think about it. Think about how awesome it's going to be when your partner comes home, even if you don't have a partner. Just fantasize about it. When you go to bed, imagine he's laying next to you and you're talking about how great your day was, or he's like, I don't know, stroking your back or something. Like, literally envision this thing that you want, instead of talking about how mad you are that it's not here, how annoying it is that it hasn't happened yet, how unfair it is, and how unworthy I must be because it's not here. When you keep saying shit like that, even if it's quiet, even if it's just to yourself, even if no one else knows you're even feeling those things, if you are constantly thinking those things over and over again, then that's what you're going to get. That's the mood you're going to have, and then the universe is going to reflect back to you what you're feeling. Don't be freaked out by the universe reflecting back to you something that you don't prefer, because when you fully believe and accept that you have the ability to shift realities, then it won't freak you out. And that's the thing, is not to get freaked out when things that you don't like show up, because you can show yourself, hang on a minute, I can shift. And in fact, I've done it so many times in my life that it's so natural to me that I don't know I'm doing it. The only thing is that it's going to be different this time is that I'm going to consciously shift to something that I want, instead of repeating the same things that I have had. I'm going to conjure a vibration and an imagination thought life that is to die for, and I'm going to live there as much as I possibly can, because we are all living in our minds a lot of the time, and we're not actually doing a very good job of it.